This tutorial will cover nadir patching in Photoshop using a combination of actions in Photoshop as well as some templates in PTGui. I have an image here that, as you can see, is missing its nadir, and I've added a couple empty layers over here because normally I start with the multi-layer image and work from there, but this is something I just pulled out of the library as an example. So I have my first action, which will flatten the image, save it as a TIFF file in a certain location where my templates are stored, and then it will then put it back to its original state with the layers. So I click on this to run it, and as you'll see over here in a moment, it will flatten it, and now it's going to save it as a TIFF, and it always saves it with the same name and into the same directory for consistency's sake, because the PTGui templates look for that particular file in that particular location. I'll go over the file locations and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff once this step is done. So while this is working, you can see it's now writing the TIFF image, probably a little bit slower than most of you are used to because I'm running off of an external USB drive, but even so, it's not the end of the world as far as speed. So once this is done, you can see that the image is back to the original number of layers. Now I go up to my PTGui batch stitcher, and I choose, and I've numbered them 1 and 2 just to make it easy for me to remember. The first one I choose open, and you'll see it will start processing that batch. What this batch does is it takes the full rectangular image and extracts the nadir. When it's done, I go back into Photoshop, have another action that will open the resulting file that PTGui created, and I say OK, and that gives us this. Now I can go in, I usually create a new layer, choose the stamp or the clone tool, zoom in a little, and I won't go through all of the retouching, but basically you do something like that, something like this, come in. This isn't going to be pretty, but it will demonstrate what we're able to do. Let's make this a little bit bigger here as well. Yeah, this is pretty ugly actually, but gets the point across. When I'm done, I'm really lazy. Actions, flatten and save it, and I say OK, do that, and it closes the file. So now we have that nadir that's patched, but we need to put it in the right format to bring back into this image, so that's the second PTGui template. Open that, and this will put the nadir that we just edited and map it down to the bottom of the image so that we can drag that onto this original image, and you'll see that in a moment here as soon as this is done. Blending, and the advantage of using PTGui is that it gives you a nice transparent background as well, and you'll see that in a moment too when we drag from the one image to the original. So now it's saving, and as soon as that is done, we can go back into Photoshop. There we go. The next action, which just opens that resulting image, and we can see here, I can click while holding the Shift key down. Okay, different bit depths. Alright, nice that Photoshop let me know about that. And now you can see the nadir has been inserted. And you can view with the Deval VR Photoshop Viewer script the patch that we did there. So the advantage of this is that if you have a nadir that needs patching and it's grass, pavement, something that doesn't have a pattern, you can do it very quickly in Photoshop without having to shoot your nadir image, and saves you some stitching time as well. And as you can see, we'll go full screen here, I'll look straight down, and there's my ugly patch. We'll close the viewer, and we're all set. So here's the behind the scenes details. I have a folder called PTGui templates. I have two little tildes in front of it so that it's at the top. We have these two PTGui templates. I'm going to open those up in PTGui itself so you can see what it looks like. Basically, it's just taking the image that is created in the Photoshop action, and all the settings are preset. It's an equirectangular, 360 degrees horizontal field of view. Panorama settings for the resulting image is rectilinear, 90 degrees, no cropping involved. And this is the importance section, pitch of 90, so that points you straight down. And then the size is 1/4 of what the original image is. That way everything stays in proper scale. And if I were to click on Send to Batch Stitcher, that would do the same thing as what we did earlier, going directly from the Batch Stitcher. And it creates a file called patch.tiff. Back in Photoshop, you can see this opens up the file PTGui templates patch.tiff. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, once I finish doing my editing of that patch, this action flattens it, saves it, and closes it. Now the next PTGui action, let's go back to here, and we'll go into step number 2, which is inserting the nadir back into an equirectangular. So the source image is patch.tiff, which we modified in Photoshop. Panorama settings are equirectangular, 360 by 180. Image parameters, now the pitch is -90, which will then map that back down, as you can see in the thumbnail here. And panorama is sized to the original size, 8192 by 4096, which is the size of the original image in Photoshop. And it will create a file called nadir.tiff. So back in Photoshop, this action simply goes into PTGui templates and opens nadir.tiff, which is this. Drag the image holding the Shift key, and it puts the nadir into the image. So really, it's a quick workflow for a simple nadir retouching that is, for me, it's brainless, which I need, because that way I can go through images fairly quickly without having to remember special settings.